The Khmer Rouge rose to power in Cambodia in 1975 after the Vietnam War, partly because of the secret bombings on Cambodia by the United States. The Khmer Rouge, who were originally a small communist group, gained control of the government and began to send Cambodians to forced labor camps and farms to regain their strength as a nation.
Before the beginning of the Khmer Rouge's reign, Cambodians faced mass poverty due to inflation and the effects of the civil war that was happening. The Khmer Rouge were widely supported initially because they ended the reign of the monarchy, portraying themselves as heroes.
The Khmer Rouge used the idea that Cambodia had been tainted by outside ideas to prosecute the educated as well as religious groups. Many people also had solely from disagreeing with them. We don't know the exact numbers, but somewhere around 1.7 million people died. Some of the higher estimates suggest around 3.3 million. This happened within the span of 4 years.
The Khmer Rouge used many different tactics to manipulate the citizens of Cambodia to justify their actions of murder, annihilation, and torture. They took away basic civil and political rights, property, money, religious practices, minority languages, and foreign clothing. The Khmer Rouge did not want any of the Cambodian citizens to still have their cultural traditions. This was one of the main ways they stayed in control. Citizens not being able to practice religion limited their hope, not being able to speak in their own language limited their freedom, and taking away their clothing limited their expression and traditions. Cultural traditions had to be practiced underground and kept secret. Citizens often reverted to keeping these traditions alive only through memory to pass down to younger generations.
The tactics the Khmer Rouge used to dehumanize and murder their prisoners were nothing short of evil. After being arrested, the prisoners were taken to security camps for processing. Here they were beaten and tortured, often to extract false confessions of crimes they had committed. If you weren't in a torture room, you were chained up in a cell barely big enough to sit down in, with an old ammunition box for a toilet. Once the Khmer Rouge were done torturing you, they would march you several miles to the killing fields. Here the prisoners were forced to dig their own graves, then beaten to death with axes, shovels, sharpened bamboo sticks, and other various farming tools, all in an effort to save ammunition.
The way that people were treated in the camps led to mass starvation and sickness, with over 27,000 people from one village dying within a year. The Cambodians weren't given access to clean water, toilets, or enough food, and they even had to build their own houses, often being forced to move more than once because of the switching of roles that the people worked in the camps.
The five faces of the Cambodian genocide who heavily influenced what happened were Pol Pot, leader of the Khmer Rouge, Nguyen Chia, the regime's chief ideology, Khieu Samphan, former head of state for the Khmer Rouge who oversaw the brutal policies, Kang Vlaek Eve, head of internal security and in charge of the prison where over 14,000 people were tortured and killed, and Lang Sari, the former prime minister and key decision maker in the regime. In 1978, Vietnam invaded Cambodia and removed the Khmer Rouge from power, leading to the comprehensive Cambodian peace agreement brokered by the United Nations.
It took until 20 years later for the leaders of the Khmer Rouge to be brought to trial, at which point one of them had already died. Some don't agree that this was a genocide since many groups were targeted, as well as the fact that the intent to destroy these groups can't be proven.